Once upon a time, in a peaceful little village surrounded by green mountains, there lived a young man named Marco. He was only 24, yet his mind felt as if it had carried the weight of many weary years. His thoughts never stopped, filled with memories of the past, worries for the future, and countless unanswered questions. Every morning when he woke up, his mind was already in turmoil. All day long, his thoughts swirled like a storm. Marco couldn't sleep well, couldn't focus, and gradually forgot how to truly smile. He lived as if carrying an invisible burden, the weight of regret and fear. People often saw Marco walking by the river, his eyes distant, lost in his own world. They thought he was just a dreamer. But in truth, Marco was fighting the most dangerous enemy of all, his own mind. One evening, as the sun set behind the mountains, Marco overheard travelers speaking about a wise old man who lived in a distant village. They said he had once been a famous psychologist who helped many people find peace within themselves. Hearing that, a spark of hope lit up in Marco's heart. He thought, maybe, that old man can help me find the calm I've lost. And so Marco decided to begin the journey of his life. After many long and winding days on the road, he finally reached a quiet village nestled deep in the hills. Before him lay a peaceful scene. Small moss-covered cottages, the gentle sound of a flowing stream, and the fragrance of wildflowers drifting in the wind. In the midst of that calmness stood a small house covered in vines. On its porch sat an old man with silver hair, eyes half closed, face serene, as if nothing in the world could ever disturb his peace. Marco approached quietly and said, "Sir, my mind is restless. I can't stop thinking, and I can't find peace. Can you help me?" The old man slowly opened his eyes, calm and deep like still water. With a soft smile, he said, "You are searching for peace, aren't you? Very well. I will give you a small task." He led Marco to the backyard, filled a glass of water to the brim, and said, "Take this glass, walk through the village and come back, but don't spill even a single drop." Marco looked surprised, but nodded. Holding the glass carefully, he began to walk slowly along the narrow path. People passed by, children laughed, dogs barked, the wind blew. But Marco paid attention to nothing except the glass in his hands. When he returned, sweat dotted his forehead. He smiled proudly. "I did it, sir. Not a single drop was spilled." The old man nodded gently, a kind smile on his lips, his eyes holding a wisdom that Marco had yet to understand. Then the old man asked, "Well done, my son. But tell me, did you see the children playing by the road? Did you hear the dogs barking or the people talking?" Marco shook his head, puzzled. "No, sir. I saw and heard nothing. My mind was focused only on the glass of water." The old man smiled again, his voice soft and knowing. "That is exactly what I wanted you to discover. When your mind stays in one place, the present moment, there is no space left for fear, sorrow, or unnecessary thoughts. In that moment, your mind was still. You weren't remembering the past, nor worrying about the future. You were simply living, completely, in the now. That is true peace." Marco stood in silence, a new understanding dawning within him. He realized that peace was never something to be found outside. It had always been within him, waiting to be noticed. With emotion in his voice, he bowed deeply. "I understand now, sir. To find peace, I must keep my mind here, in this very moment." The old man smiled, gazing toward the crimson sunset. "Yes, my son, when you empty your mind, you will see that peace has never left you." Marco left the house, no longer the anxious young man he once was. His steps were light, his heart calm, his spirit free. The golden sunset painted the sky. Marco bowed one last time in gratitude and walked home along the small road. The world around him was the same, yet everything felt different. The sound of birds, the rustling leaves, the stream, all were just as before, but now Marco felt them with a peaceful heart. For the first time in years, he smiled. A gentle, genuine smile. He no longer searched for peace. He carried it within him. As he walked, he remembered the old man's words. Peace is not something you find outside, but something you realize when your mind stops wandering. Marco knew that life would still bring storms and worries, but he also knew that as long as he stayed in the present, he would remain calm amid them all. When the last light of the sun touched the earth, Marco stopped and took a deep breath. He was no longer the restless young man of yesterday. He had become someone new, someone who understood the beauty of silence and the power of an empty mind. His story ends, but the lesson lives on. When your mind stays in the present moment, fear disappears, and peace remains. As Marco left that quiet village, the sky turned lavender. The last rays of sunlight brushed the path beneath his feet. He felt as though each step was lighter, because within him the storm had finally settled. He once believed peace had to be found somewhere far away, in someone's words, in success, or in the future. But now he understood. Peace had never left him. He simply hadn't been still enough to see it. On his journey home, Marco smiled at everyone he met. The world had not changed, but he had. When the heart is calm, everything becomes gentle. The story of Marco teaches us a simple yet profound truth. When you live in the present moment, fear fades away and peace stays. No one can bring you peace but yourself. Only when you empty your mind, letting go of unnecessary thoughts, can you truly hear the voice of your soul. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, feel this very moment. That alone is peace. If this story has brought you even a touch of calm, share it with someone who needs it. Because sometimes, a small story can awaken an entire soul. And as the old man's wisdom echoes through time, remember this. When your mind is quiet, everything becomes clear. When your heart is at peace, the world turns gentle. Thank you for walking with Marco on his journey towards stillness. If this story touched your heart, share it with those you love. Until next time, may you live slowly, smile often, and keep your heart light in this rushing world.